Hi guys, welcome to edition 30 of Ignition DVD.
We're the original and 30 issues strong. We're still the best automotive DVD magazine that you can buy, but it just got even better value.
That's right, for those of you that actually miss the ads, you can now buy back issues of Ignition DVD for only $4.95 from selected bargain outlets, including The Warehouse and Crazy Clark's.
Well, you certainly can't beat that, and it's going to be very hard to beat this issue.
Let's get started. Starting this issue is our WRX cover car and an ultra cool V35 Skyline.
You know, this is the first V35 Skyline we've ever featured, and if Kareem's one sets a new trend, it certainly won't be the last. Then we check out what is still Australia's biggest car show and party, the Summer Nats. And this time, it was Summer Nat's 21st birthday, so
Nice.
we had to celebrate in style.
Absolutely. Enjoy.
Forza Azzurro is an expression within the Italian culture typically chanted in the stands by rabid soccer fans. Its literal translation is force and blue. Can't be much simpler in this case.
Hi, my name is Frank, I'm 25 years old and this is my Subaru WRX.
This Subi ranks up there with the toughest street races in the country, no question.
That feeling usually comes when I go on my club events with Vic WRX. We go for cruises, it's a social club. You really get to appreciate the car and see other people's cars. You get the satisfaction when, you know, you got your friends or people come into these cruises and saying, you know, you've done a top job to the car.
The exterior belies the raw energy brooding under the hood. The sleeper effect was important to achieve, but still looks incredibly aggressive. There are clues to the trained eye that this WRX is harbouring some sinister grunt. Cues like the MY02 STI rims, which are lighter and wider than their standard counterparts. They are also wrapped in some serious semi-slick rubber and filled with slotted rotors. The factory handling prowess has been kicked up a notch by teen S-Tech coilovers controlled in-cabin by the EDFC. Another reason why this Rex is amongst the country's elite is the attention and quality of modifications to every department. The interior theme is that of the exterior, understated, and because true style never shouts, Frank chose to retrim the interior in elegant blue and black leather. A daily driver needs a killer sound setup, and nothing has been compromised in this case. A Kenwood DVD head unit is the mastermind controlling two Schneider subs and amps, all housed in a custom fiberglass boot enclosure. Both ends of the spectrum are covered with Kenwood competition splits up front and potent 6-inch speakers in the rear. Here at Ignition, when we use the expression built, it's usually to describe some off-the-wall drag warrior or dyno queen. But in this case, the engine couldn't be described any other way.
My personal favourite thing about the car is the engine bay. I think it come up really nice. It's not too overdone, but it's nice and clean and detailed.
The 2-litre EJ20 was done away with for its newer sibling, the 2.5-litre Boxer. That still wasn't enough, so it was stroked out to a boisterous 2.7. Occupying the block is custom CP pistons and rods, along with ported heads, ACL Race Series bearings and other billet items. Tune length extractors still manage to maintain the legendary Boxer roar, and a full custom 3-inch exhaust keeps it all moving. The black painted APS front mount cools the air from the Trust T67 25G turbo and is amped up with a 44mm Trust external gate. This combo on a street tune sees over 300 all-wheel kilowatts day after day. Making power is one thing, but keeping all the ancillary gear happy and getting those ponies to the ground is another. 1000cc injectors and twin Walbro pumps ensure a good mix under fire, and the STI 6-speed and R180 diffs to match have no trouble getting the power down.
When it comes to power mods, I pretty much stuck with my mechanic who looked after me and took it from there, but kept it understated on the outside.
With an empathetic check in every box, there ain't much around that can stop this blue force.
Australia's most renowned and innovative airbrush specialists, Advanced Airbrush, have your journey in the artistry of airbrushing covered every step of the way. At the helm is guru and multi-award-winning artist Wayne Harrison, drawing on over 30 years' experience in the custom paint and fine arts industry. Here, you'll receive the right advice when it comes to paint, equipment and artwork. In shop, all the top brands and equipment are available, such as House of Colour, Iwata, Diamond Ice Crystal Pearls and Flakes for those custom paint jobs, as well as stencils, DVDs and books to get you started in airbrush. Purchases can be made at the Airbrush shop in Minchinbury or online at airbrush.com.au. Advanced Airbrush also offers the most renowned airbrush courses for the beginner to the pro. Whether it's your first step into airbrushing or you want to hone your master stroke. Courses available in Sydney, Townsville, Gold Coast, Perth and Melbourne. For more information or to book online, go to airbrush.com.au. Advanced Airbrush is responsible for many award-winning show cars in Australia, including the 2007 Grand Champion Auto Salon winner of the Airbrush Graphics category, Jason and his Lord of the Rings Toyota. Also around the streets you'll see many top street cars displaying Advanced Airbrush creative art. At Advanced Airbrush they also offer the business person unique, creative and eye-catching airbrush art or digital print for your company vehicles, promotional trailers, trucks, office or house walls. Also including promotional items, design of company logos and creative business cards. With the skill and experience of our in-house graphic designers, we say if you can imagine it, we can create it. The results speak for themselves. So jump online now and visit our website airbrush.com.au. to get more information and pick up some creative ideas. As technology and styling moves forward, the car scene needs to keep up. The Nissan V35 Skyline is part of the new generation of high-tech import cars. It's enjoyed huge success in Japan and the US, but has so far remained quite obscure here in Australia. But if Kareem's slick V35 has anything to do with it, that's all about to change. While the latest rear-wheel drive Nissan Coupe carries the Skyline badge, it shares more Z DNA than that of its namesake.
Hey, what's up? My name is Kareem, 22, from Sydney, and here's my V35 Skyline. Well, I had my car for about a year and a half. I didn't like the shape of a 350Z, and I reckon the V35 is way better. And just something different, something like you don't have much in Sydney, you know what I mean?
As debatable as that is, you can't argue with the final product. A more refined, efficient and powerful Skyline than any of its predecessors.
And when I bought it, like the interior, everything is like perfect condition and had a Nismo lip kit all over it. And yeah, it was black. The original color was black. And yeah, everything was perfect. When I first bought the car, I wanted JDM. That's why it was black with bronze wheels. And after a while, I'm just like got sick of JDM, so I just wanted to go for some different style, like VIP/JDM look, you know what I mean?
The first noticeable difference of the V35 is that it's visibly defined itself from the R series of Skylines. Its shape lends itself to a multitude of tuning styles. Euro, VIP, JDM, and even Drift have been applied to the V35 across the world. With Kareem's car, some VIP styling was applied, with an exclusive Ken-style 4-piece body kit, and the baby blue respray gives it a bit of sex spec. The kit enhances the factory curves, and it's not too over the top. The JDM touch comes courtesy of a top-secret bonnet and some Ray's Engineering GTF 19-inch rims, which are filled by monster Project Mu brakes, measuring 380mm up front, with 6-piston calipers and 355mm at the rear, with 4-piston items. As if a V35 Skyline didn't stand out on the road already, Kareem's screams for attention.
I did a lot of research on the body kit first, and then go for the color, and then the interior. My next step is going to be engine. It's got some top secret mods going to be happening soon. Probably will be ready next March.
The VQ35DE is rated at a healthy 206 kilowatts in standard trim, but when it comes to squeezing out some extra ponies, it can be a tricky road to travel. One option is forced induction, but it's certainly not cheap to do properly. Kareem chose to keep it all natural and selected mods that were simple but effective.
A bit of everything, really, like street, style, power, everything, you know what I mean? Because this is going to be my everyday driving car, you know what I mean? Can't have too hectic, you know what I mean? Not too hectic.
An ARC power intake feeds the modified plenum. Exhaust gases are extracted by Tomei manifolds and front pipes before flowing through the HKS exhaust system. It gives the NA6 a deep and menacing note under full throttle. An Apexi AFC Neo handles the complex task and is an affordable alternative when some of the more elaborate ECUs are overkill for lightly tuned NA engines. It may not be much, but that combination of parts is all the engine needs to bring the power output from 150 kilowatts to over 200 kilowatts at the wheels. The V35 Skyline chassis is based on the 350Z, boasting a 52-48% weight distribution out of the box and the latest suspension technology. The suspension settings in the Skyline are aimed at the more conservative luxury market. To get the suspension back to pinpoint accuracy, Kareem installed a set of Buddy Club racing spec coilovers. Like the rest of his car, the interior hasn't been overlooked for upgrades. Nothing over the top, the interior has been retrimmed in Mercedes-Benz beige leather. To complete the package, the factory Bose sound system has been improved. While the component speakers and factory amp are quality items, a more versatile Pioneer touchscreen head unit was added. The standard sub was done away with for a thumping 12-inch JBL item powered by a JVC amplifier.
I love everything about this car. Like, people just drive up and say, hey, what car is this? And I'll tell them that it's a V35 Skyline. They say, oh, what's that? Do they have 35? That's how it is. I like it.
V35s have taken off in Japan and America, and Kareem's one is set to lift the game here in Australia. It's time to look forward in the car scene and embrace the new model cars. Bring it on. Mainline Dynalog dynos are the world's most advanced chassis dyno. Owned and assembled right here in Australia, they set the standard for 21st century technology and accuracy. They're known as the No Fudge dyno. Mainline Dynalog is the official dyno supplier and operator for the Autosalon National Power Championship, used for its accuracy, repeatability and consistency. With over 500 logging channels available and advanced software, compiling and analysing data is a breeze. They can also plug in to many leading aftermarket ECUs for further diagnostic and logging options. High-quality deep knurled rollers along with tie-down hoops give unrivaled traction. Real-world testing has seen well over 1,000 horsepower at the wheels. No fuss, no sweat. So no matter what you put into your car, Mainline will make sure you get the most out.
The Summer Nats has become a yearly tradition here at Ignition, and for good reason. It is still the biggest and wildest car show in Australia, and no matter what type of cars or motorsport you're into, it's always a heap of fun. We arrived on Friday night just in time for the Great Maguire's Uncover. One for us was Laurie's Holden Rodeo mini truck on 24s. The Great Maguire's Uncover is always a spectacle and is a huge achievement for car builders. On Saturday, we headed back to the Maguire's Elite Pavilion to see which cars made the top 60 this time around. All right, we're here with our man, our saviour here at the Summer Nats. Sean with Have the Flu is representing the Jap cars and the sports compact scene. Man, I heard you did pretty good. How does it feel to make top 60?
It's pretty interesting. I didn't think I was going to go that well considering it's just V8s and mostly rotaries. But yeah, I was pretty shocked.
So what awards did you finish up with after all the judging was finished?
Top sports car and top 20, so it was pretty good.
Top 20 with a Jap car?
Yeah, it was pretty good effort, hopefully.
The live airbrushing demonstration was put on by House of Colour and Iwata and had a huge crowd all weekend. House of Colour also had a huge stand along with Maguire's under the Motor Active banner. Motor Active are an integral part and big supporter of the Summer Nats. Howtech also had a stand in the Traders Pavilion. Well, we've got to interview someone from Howtech, and of course it's got to be Nathan, seems as it's always your face that shows up in every magazine under the sun at Howtech.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. You enjoying the Nats?
Yeah, definitely. We're having a great time and good weather and some good cars, so yeah.
And girls.
And the girls.
And how about the products? Are you having a good response here this weekend?
Definitely. A lot of people interested. Definitely from the V8s through to the rotaries and the 4-cylinders and 6-cylinder markets. People are definitely keen to see what's new.
We also checked out the Pioneer stand in the audio hall. We're here at the A&B Motorsports stand inside one of the Traders Pavilions, and some of you may remember Terry's fat-ass R32 Skyline from edition 12. Now, it still pretty much looks the same with its crazy wide body kit, but under the hood it has undergone massive transformations. It's got a totally new engine setup, and with a T88 turbo, it made over 1,000 horsepower at the wheels, but that wasn't enough for Terry. He's now switched to this monster custom Garrett turbo, and we're looking forward to see what power it can make next time. We also bumped into the boys from Fat Pizza on their stand.
If you watch these DVDs of Summer Nats, mate, you get the impression when they do the montage editing, there's heaps of chicks flashing, but the reality is, like, pan around, cameraman, slow, keep going, other side, go to the other side, mate. That way. He's from Queanbeyan, this cameraman, he doesn't know much. This is the point. There's no chicks at Summer Nats, that's why we brought these blow-up dolls, as you can see. We want to give the illusion that there's a few chicks here.
Every year, Castrol teams up with PWR to create the Performance Park here at the Summer Nats. Now, the big pavilion they've got there's filled with some pretty wild stuff, so let's get in there and check it out. Now, Ben and Victor Bray are obviously famous for their drag cars and burnout cars, but Benny Bray has now stepped into our world with a fully prepped Datsun 1200 Ute drag car with a big SR20 sitting under the hood of this thing. Now, Castrol legend PW behind it, as well as our friends from Hypertune and Howtech, check out under the hood of this thing. Drag racing stars like Ben Bray coming into the sports compact scene shows that our scene is still getting bigger and taken more seriously. Check out the full car feature in Ignition soon. Ben also had his burnout ute on display, along with his father Victor's 57 Chev. After checking out the show and shine in the Centre Arena, we decided to go relax and check out some eye candy.
Fantastic out there. Go, Big Rob.
The Jack Daniels Miss Summer Nats competition is a long-standing tradition and is always tough. This year, Alina from the Northern Territory took the win, adding to her list of achievements, including winning Miss Power Cruise and making the Miss Indy finals. Now that we were relaxed, it was time to hit the cruising strip, and Saturday afternoon is always the wildest time of the weekend. Commander Club Edition fans here at the Summer Nats. What's your name, bro?
Michael, brother.
Michael and
Nick.
Nick, man, you guys been the Nats before or what? How many times?
For the past 5 years.
13, man.
13 Summer
13
Nats.
Summer Nats, mate.
He's only had 21 of them. You've been to 13
13 of them.
How old were you at the first one?
Mate, I was a young gun. Yeah.
You can't not go, can you?
No, you
Once you've
can't.
done
You've gotta-
a couple in a row, that's it.
That's
Forget
it.
about it, gotta get all of them. We wanted to cut some laps too, so we jumped into Ab's wild Corolla and headed around the cruising strip. This is what the Summer Nats is all about, having fun cruising with your mates. Speaking of cruising, the Super Cruise is another huge attraction at the Summer Nats and kicked off Saturday night entertainment in the main arena. We thought we'd check out how some of the top cars went in the grass driving events. For the Super Cruise, we jumped in with the Castrol promo girls for a couple of laps. The Super Cruise is a heap of fun and allows spectators to see all of the top cars from the event in the one place at the one time. After the Super Cruise, the nighttime entertainment kicks off, and this year's was set to be big. A freestyle motocross demonstration got things started and the crowd G'd up. Regular Summer Nats stunt driver Lawrence Legend came out to perform his last trick, and what a trick it was. The night then finishes off with a fireworks display before the adult entertainment, which we can't show you here. On Sunday, the Horsepower Heroes Dyno Cage is the place to be as Australia's most powerful cars battle it out. This year saw the pump fuel only rule revoked, so we were expecting some big numbers and weren't disappointed. In the 4-cylinder category, Adam's mental SR20 powered Chimera came third but won the dial-up competition with 360 horsepower. Aaron Bray's Datsun 1600 took out second, but none could come close to Chris Sheether's awesome wide-bodied 2.2 stroker-powered S15 that cranked out 558 horsepower to take the win. All right, we're here with a long-time friend of mine, Chris Sheether. Mate, we've been talking about this for a long time. Yep. This car's been getting built for a very long time, but you've finally done it. You've taken out 4-cylinder at the Summer Nats for Horsepower Heroes. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels a bit relieving actually. It's been a bit of a drama.
So tell us,
I'm glad
this car's been through a bit.
over.
This car's been through a bit. I was there when it first started. I was even there before that. Tell us, for our viewers, just how long has this been in the build for and what sort of dramas have you had?
It's been in the build since probably December 2001. I've had a few engines in the car. This is the second motor. So I've had a few dramas.
It all come good?
Yeah, it all came good in the end.
In the 6-cylinder class, Julian's big single turbo, wide-body R32 Skyline returned. The car was suffering from some valve float problems and was still running on pump fuel, but managed an impressive 616 horsepower. Summer Nats 21 Grand Champion winner Mark Godfrey topped off his weekend by taking out the naturally aspirated Big Bot class in his 1-tonner with a whopping 948 horsepower. In the small block blown V8 category, the guys from Horsepower Factory brought along Gary Hope's massive single turbo powered Commodore and Robert Vickery's twin turbo Ute. The size of the turbos promised big things, and they certainly delivered. The Commodore pumped out 1,493 horsepower before the turbo blew, and the Ute smashed out 1,713 horsepower. But just when you'd finished picking up your jaw from the floor, Craig Munro rolled out his Tryhard HSV onto the rollers. It almost looked like the car wasn't even trying and set a new record with 1,895 horsepower. Certainly an incredible figure, and Craig took the win as the 2008 Horsepower Hero, but didn't have the honour of the highest overall figure. That went to Gus Nichols' twin-turbo big block WB Ute that stunned the crowd with 1,939 horsepower. The Turbo 400 gearbox simply couldn't handle the power, and its self-destruction took the tail shaft and exhaust with it. It was a dramatic sight, and the breakage meant Gus couldn't finish his 3 runs he needed to take out the comp. A monstrous feat nevertheless, and a perfect way to finish off our trip to the 2008 Summer Nats. For more info on the next event, head to summernats.com. To get the lowdown on tyre pressures and the full range of motorised tyre gauges, check out the Motor Active Tech Talk in Ignition X. What an event. The Nats is always a good time.
Well, then maybe next time you can invite me.
I don't know if you could handle it. It's pretty wild out there.
Well, I can handle wild. Speaking of wild, our friends at Castrol Edge have launched a promotion which gives you a chance to win a ride with the famous wild man himself, Robbie Bolger.
That's right, Edge are sponsors of Robbie's, and as part of their step into the world of drifting, Castrol Edge has launched the Expression Session competition. All you have to do is upload a picture of your ride, plus some details about yourself, and you go into the running to win a heap of great prizes. And the major prize, you get to win a day drifting with Robbie Bolger at Queensland Raceway.
Sounds good. So log on to expressionsession.com.au and enter your ride.
Then, it's time for model material. And after that, we've got a feature on a GSR Lancer that, like Renee here, has no problem letting out its animal instinct.
Motorsport enthusiasts know the importance of monitoring tyre pressures to minimise their lap times. Well, now from Motor Active is an innovative range of tyre pressure monitoring products, further adding to their world-leading Maguire's car care range and House of Colour paints. The motorised alert caps let you check your pressure at a glance, while the digital Hornet gauge is small on size but big on features and value at only $14.95. For the most demanding car enthusiasts, there's the Digital Pro tyre pressure gauge, which has a huge array of functions but still won't break the bank at $29.95. So, to help minimise tyre wear, maximise fuel efficiency and optimise handling, keep an eye on your tyre pressures with Motorise. All products are backed with a full replacement warranty and are available from leading auto shops and online at motoractive.com.au.
3, 2, 1, go.
By signing up to the Hot Fours newsletter, you'll be ahead of the pack when it comes to the latest news, event info, what's on the forums, and a sneak preview of what's in the next issue. It's easy to sign up. Just head to www.hotfours.com and follow the links to the newsletter page. There you can tell us a little more about yourself, and when you hit the submit button, you've instantly put yourself in the running to win great prizes each and every month. Go on. What are you waiting for?
Go.
Primal instincts exist within all of us, and there are many ways to express them. What better way to let loose than a 200 all-wheel kilowatt Lancer GSR?
G'day, my name's Josh, I'm 21 years old, I'm from Orange, and this is my 93 Lancer GSR.
Josh's GSR was built with a few priorities in mind. It had to be fast, reliable, it had to let anyone gawking at it know that his two loves are Boost and Tigers.
I've been obsessed with Tigers since I was little, so they're sort of like a life passion. I thought I'd blend it in with the car, and the Tiger Mica paint was a good starting point as well.
Coincidentally enough, when he first picked up the car, it had just received a fresh respray in Tiger Mica. After a few painstaking nights at the drawing board, Josh had custom decals of his own original Tiger design applied to the car.
When I first bought the car, it was very tidy. The paint had already been done. It was on chrome wheels, the interior was done. Yeah, the Tiger on the side, that decal, I designed that one up.
As we continue to see more and more Evos hitting the street, it seems that this breed of Lancer owner really know a thing or two about balancing show cues with JDM styling. This is evident with the Evo 3 carbon bonnet, which really sets off the front end. Incubus paranormal rims and the genuine Evo 3 kit aren't over the top by any stretch. But what really makes this ride pop, pun intended, on the street is the custom airbag suspension setup. Inside the cabin is a very minimalistic effect with a dark leather retrim, GSR embroidery on the seats, a good contrast given the exterior, but when you open the boot that's where the car shows its true colours. A custom install houses the two 12-inch subs, an air tank for the suspension. A false floor and custom Perspex enclosure are trimmed with a wild tiger skin material that looks like it's ready to attack. LEDs and custom lighting have been added to show off the BM Boschmann 1800 watt amps. Controlling it all is a matching BM Boschmann DVD media head unit. The 4G63 engine has been rebuilt using all Evo 3 internals for strength. The huff is provided by a Trust TD05, running 21 psi, sucking through a K&N pod filter. A lot of custom metalcraft gear has been used, such as exhaust, manifold and front mount. 500cc injectors are in place, along with a surge tank, and a Bosch fuel pump handle fuel demands. The EMS Stinger handles the tune, and boost specifics are controlled by the Gizmo IBC. The drivetrain has been upgraded to handle the power and be reliable. Again, Evo 3 front and rear diffs are in place, as well as a reinforced Evo 3 gearbox with steel forks in gears 1 through 4.
I get heaps of reactions from young and old. The young kids like it probably because there's a Tiger on there. It's a bit novel for them. The old people appreciate it because it's so tidy, maybe because of the power as well.
His ultimate goal was simple, to build one of the nicest GSRs in Australia. And in our opinion, he's done pretty well. But what's even more appealing is that he does the car proud by driving it how it's supposed to be, and not afraid to get a little dirty in the process. Enjoying a long-standing reputation for quality work and professional service, Platinum Car Audio and Interior's experienced staff consistently produce some of Australia's most highly awarded show cars. Platinum can turn daily drivers into complete showstoppers, and they carry all the leading brands. Platinum Car Audio and Interiors are the ultimate choice, whether you're after a simple head unit upgrade or a complete interior retrim and custom audio fit-out. With packages to suit any budget, including leather retrims from as little as $2,200 or complete audio upgrade packages from only $1,000. To find out more, visit platinumcai.com.au.
HSD Suspension brings you the leading edge in coilover technology at prices to suit your budget. HSD has been proven in competition by many top-level Australian drifters. 3 levels of performance are offered to suit every application. The HS series is best for the street, with rubber bush top mounts providing quiet operation, 15-step damper adjustment, and a wide range of height adjustment. HR adds larger diameter dampers for more control and pillow ball top mounts for razor sharp response, with easy camber adjustment ideally suited for drift and circuit applications. For the serious circuit racer, we have the premium HT series, using a full aluminium casing for lightweight and remote reservoirs for separate bump and rebound damper adjustment. HSD coilovers are backed by an unlimited kilometre 12-month warranty and full after-sales support from Otomoto. Check out the Otomoto website to see what HSD can do for your ride.
On our recent trip to Melbourne, we came across some pretty cool cars, didn't we?
Yes, next up it's an MX-5 that has some old school JDM flavour, and then it's our first time featuring an Audi.
This one's an assassin in a lawyer's suit, a luxury sleeper.
From a simpler time, a more elegant time. Before the advent of GT wings, neons and decals, there was only one way to roll with true street cred. The epitome of true style? Grand JDM.
G'day, I'm Lockie, I'm 23 years old from Melbourne and this is my MX-5.
Creating a classic JDM looking car is no easy feat, and this is Lockie's second time round doing so.
My first car was a Datsun 240Z, and then I bought a 73 Skyline, a classic Skyline.
What makes it even harder is using a later model car that doesn't have a great deal of aftermarket support.
Yeah, this is my second MX-5. Originally I looked for about 6 months to find a really good mint one, and I did. Then my friend offered me this one for sale, so I had to say yes. When I bought the car, it had a lot of this stuff already on it, and since then I've been trying to source a number of really classic JDM kind of parts, but luckily it's with a lot of the parts from the previous owner.
And when you see this Roadster on the streets, it's sort of hard to put your finger on what model of car it is.
Yeah, look, you can't drive this car around without being seen and noticed. Every time you go, people want to start conversations with you.
The simplicity of the patrician exterior is what makes the look. The Garage Vary front lip and Mazda R package are the only body kit additions that are really necessary. The finishing touches are a Zoom Eng racing fuel lid and pretty unique old school runabout GT side mirrors. Furthermore, a pretty unique badge up the front.
The badge in the front of the car, actually, I picked off a Bongo van in a Wreckers some time ago and had it for about 3 years before I actually owned a Mazda. And it was one of the first things I did, just for fun really, for laughs.
Under the guards are SSR Mark II rims that measure up at 14 inches, but you really couldn't tell thanks to a carefully selected offset that makes them look bold and aggressive.
Personal favourite thing about the car, I guess, is the wheels. It's a really love it or hate it thing, and I love them personally.
To quote Lockie, I love the simplicity and rawness of NA. None of those turbo shenanigans. So other areas of the car had to be modified thoughtfully to overcome. Teen super streets controlled by the cabin-mounted controller give the sub-1 tonne cruiser a sharp feedback that simply isn't possible in larger circuit modified cars. Having a two-way Mazda Speed LSD doesn't hurt either. There's also a slew of underbracing and a Brown Davis roll bar that not only looks good, but is a torsional rigidity aid. The track theme is apparent within the car as well, with a Bride Pro driver's seat, Nardi classic steering wheel and lightweight pull handles.
The car's already finely tuned, a real NA performance base. I want to enhance the look a little bit and possibly gain some more power out of the engine.
Intelligent mods continue under the hood, and as turbocharging wasn't an option, it proved quite a challenge to turn the 1.8 litre four-cylinder into a contender.
Yeah, look, being one of the later models, it's a 1.8, so it has more power from stock. However, the previous owner did put a lot of work getting it finely tuned. Under 5,000 RPM though, it's really like a normal car. It's only above that it really kicks in, and it just keeps going until 8 or 9.
Later model OEM pistons and rims were used alongside ACL bearings. This combo with some headwork took the final compression to 10.5. To keep the car happily revving till redline, a Toda adjustable cam gears and Tomei cams. The Lock Stewart cold air intake is mounted under the scuttle and receives a more consistent stream of air. Flow is handled by a complete Lock Stewart exhaust, barking out a 3-inch tip. The only tuning required with these mods is handled by the Apexi SAFC.
Yeah, I've really always loved Japan and its style in itself, and I guess with the whole importing scene starting up just when I was in senior school, I really got into that, and then I found out about all the old cars and how much history these companies have.
This Grand MX-5 proves that elements of the past and present combined can make something that's pretty much as good as either. Isotta has been manufacturing unique automotive accessories since the late 1980s and have continually introduced the highest quality products with innovative design. In 2007, Isotta partnered with Swarovski Crystals to form the Urban Glow range. First, made in Italy. The elegance of pure, clean Swarovski crystals. Visit primal.net.au. There's an old saying that perception is reality. European cars are often perceived as nothing more than German taxis driven on a Sunday by Grandpa with a straw hat on the parcel shelf to church and back. Or prepare for a shock.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm from Melbourne, and this is my Audi A4.
On paper, the Audi A4 seems to be a worthy base for modification. All-wheel drive, turbocharged with European refinement, but is often overlooked as a serious performer.
I think I started the performance trend in the family with a WRX, which was my first car. Loved the all-wheel drive, had to stick with it. So I ended up choosing that A4 Quattro Turbo because I wanted to stick with four-wheel drive, and I thought, well, I can modify it, get the power out of it later.
Modifying an A4 was a learning curve for Andrew. Although very mechanically minded, it was almost a shock to find the availability and price of performance parts for his car.
Modifying a European car, especially an Audi, wasn't easy. Very difficult to find parts. I basically had to look abroad, the US, Europe, to get all the bits and pieces for the car.
Serious power was always part of the grand plan for this car. However, because of its initial appeal as a more sophisticated destroyer than his WRX, it was important to choose the right parts to dress up the exterior. The factory Vortex body kit was optioned and suits the modern shape of the car nicely. Added soon after purchase was a set of 19-inch Mille Miglia Evo 5 rims all the way from Italy.
When I got the car, it actually handled quite well, but it was still definitely orientated towards a cruiser. So I wanted to improve on that, turn it into a real performer.
The ride height and handling to match is courtesy of an iBark Pro suspension setup front and rear with thicker sway bars from its older cousin, the RS4. In much the same way that Skyline owners upgrade their interiors with GTR gear, Andrew has done the same with Audi RS4 Recaro seats, RS4 steering wheel and RS4 pedals. The factory leather interior is hard to improve, so well thought out modifications are in place. An upgraded sat-nav and DVD head unit was sourced from a later model and certainly does its job controlling the audio while looking the part amongst the carbon fibre console. The sound system consists of Bose front and rear mid-range speakers with splits built into the doors. Adding a little bit of Jap flavour, albeit not intentional, is a Defi BF boost gauge and a custom mount and limited edition Apexi AVCR boost controller hidden away in the factory ashtray.
I think I've focused on the exterior of the car and the handling of it first rather than performance, just purely because of warranty. No one really wants to void their warranty with a brand new car, so you tend to see whether or not everything's okay for the first year or so before you start changing turbos.
At the nucleus of this Street Fighter is the factory-forged 1.8-litre turbo. An OCT intercooler and K&N pod filter are on intake duty, while the GFB Stealth Bulb and dual 3-inch stainless steel exhausts with twin Remus tips push it out. A Garrett GT28 RS sits on top an ATP cast manifold. The humble Disco Potato is a versatile thing used in many top street cars in the JDM scene, and now showcases that same versatility in a Euro, hurtling the A4 to over 200 all-wheel kilowatts. To cope with that increased output, the factory ECU had to be retuned, making the most of the significant gains. Andrew raided the Bosch catalogue to ensure the best fuel supply, with Bosch 440cc injectors, fuel pump, and Bosch Revision R coil packs.
In terms of power, I'm currently running 440cc injectors. We're going to up them to 550s, retune. We're looking for 230 plus at the wheels. The only thing missing from the car at the moment is a decent set of brakes. Ironically, probably should have done that first before doing the power upgrades, but Brembos are on the way.
Classy and lethal, a potent combo. A car that's at home cruising in the trendy suburban Melbourne streets or bouncing off the red line on a dyno. Some say you can't have it both ways, but this A4 goes to show... Oh, hang on a sec. It is go and show. If you want power and performance, Croydon Racing Developments is #1 on the list. They've developed a reputation for building mega-powered Japanese cars and have the records to prove it. Australia's fastest GTR 700, and the world's fastest Silvia, Devilish, are both from the Croydon stable. They're also responsible for the world's most powerful and fastest low-mount powered GTR, Twoogle, which has run into the high 9s, and Australia's most powerful GTR, RH9. Croydon's rep also extends beyond Australia, as they often build and tune cars for overseas clients. One example is the wild India R33 Skyline, which generates over 800 kilowatts at the wheels. Croydon are distributors of Jun and Greddy products, amongst others, and can provide all your performance needs from full house engine builds, race car fabrication and setup, to servicing and basic mechanical work. CRD is renowned as one of Australia's top tuners and prides itself on tuning for drivability, safety and performance. You can take your car to the rest, but you'll always come back to the best. Croydon Racing Developments.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right now, when you purchase a 10-issue subscription to Hot 4s magazine for only $89.50, you'll also receive a 5-issue subscription to High Performance Imports worth $49.75 absolutely free. To take up this great deal, or to check out our other special subscription offers, including further discounts and awesome free gifts, log in and head to www.hot4s.com.
3, 2, 1, go.
While we were in Melbourne, we also checked out the Toyo SummerSlam.
SummerSlam is the first round of the Toyo Sports Compact Drag Racing Series, so we've still got Mini Jam, Compact Attack and Jamboree left to go.
And don't worry guys, Ignition will be covering all the action from these events in 2008, so you won't miss out.
Sounds good. And to finish off the DVD, 2 characters that are putting the fun back into drag racing but aren't afraid to step it up. On the heels of a sizzling season last year, Heathcote Park Raceway in Victoria was host to round 1 of the Toyo Tyres Sports Compact Drag Racing Series. Better weather conditions couldn't be asked for, and racers took full advantage, getting practice runs in before official qualifying. As per all Toyo Sports Compact events, there is more to see than just the quarter-mile action. The Show and Shine fielded strong entries.
We're down here at the Show and Shine at the Toyo SummerSlam with Paul, who's entered his car. Paul, tell us a bit about it, mate.
Yeah, this is my RX-7. It's just a 12A turbo with a TO4E front cover. Painted at home myself.
This is Ray, and this is his immaculate Series 6 RX-7. Ray, it's a scorching hot day down here at Heathcote. Why do you come down to these events?
Beautiful day, beautiful crowd, some nice cars, and we love the Toyo girls here too.
The Rotor crowd was out in force, with RX Series Mazdas taking out first, second and third place and best club display. Coming out on top was Remo Cesario and his FD RX-7. The Toyo Tyres Sports Compact Drag Racing Series is the elite competition for this country's drag combatants, and some familiar faces and past feature cars took the long trip down south to start racking up points for the season. While still a competitive series, the events are open to all and do see some very interesting competitors along the way. After a few near misses and an accident on track, the surface was scrutinised and deemed unsafe for Pro Turbo and Pro Compact classes. To keep things moving right along, organisers decided that single-lane, half-track passes were to be used to continue with qualifying. After a gap in proceedings for a well-earned break, the crowd was treated to a demo from a jet turbine-powered RX-7. The sports and outlaw bikes took the stage all through the day, posting up some smoking sub-8 second passes. After battling it out all day under some trying conditions, the winners were crowned. In the Toyo Street Comp class, Glenn Alcorn took it out in his giant-killing Honda Civic. In Street Rear-Wheel Drive, Cade Young's 1J-powered Cressida took top honours. Flying the rotor flag in the Street 289 was Pat Long's 13B-powered RX-3. Extreme class saw Rocco Traburello edge out Megan Anderson in his Turbo Lancer. The next round of the series is the Toyo Mini Jam, to be held at Willowbank Raceway in Queensland. For more information on the series or to get involved, check out www.sportscompact.net.au.
3, 2, 1, go.
By signing up to the Hot Fours newsletter, you'll be ahead of the pack when it comes to the latest news, event info, what's on the forums, and a sneak preview of what's in the next issue. It's easy to sign up. Just head to www.hotfours.com and follow the links to the newsletter page. There you can tell us a little more about yourself, and when you hit the submit button, you've instantly put yourself in the running to win great prizes each and every month. Go on. What are you waiting for?
Go.
To see the latest updates to Project STI and Project 200, check out Tech Talk and Ignition X.
Drag racing is a fast-paced, high-stress environment. Records are set and broken, and there is plenty of pressure to perform for both sponsors and workshop pride. But at the end of the day, it's all just a load of fun. Matt and Ray are putting fun back into drag racing with their Datsun 1200 Coupe.
How you going? I'm Ray.
I'm Matt.
I'm the driver.
I'm the manager, and this is our 1200 Coupe.
I got into drag racing or racing cars on the street when I was a young age. Used to do all the work myself.
We ended up building a drag car just for the track, just for fun mainly. It's more safer than going out racing other people. It was actually at Roadmaster, and it was just a shell painted, and that was about it. It used to be the old Paul Senni Coupe. It ran an 8.5 with an FJ20 in it. It was a rolling shell. He even resprayed it again. Everything you see on the car now, Ray has done himself.
The little Datsun Coupe is super clean and is simply a good-looking car. The boys resprayed the car in Ferrari red, and Ray fabricated an alloy rear wing to help with stability after a few hairy moments. Lexan windows reduce weight, and the cutout bonnet gives the ultimate in cold air induction, and looks mad. World Racing drag rims and front runners show the car's intentions to run the numbers. Under the wing is a parachute and wheelie bars. Keep looking further down and you can see the Ford 9-inch diff and fully adjustable 4-link rear end with Coney coilovers.
When I first seen the car, I looked at it, I thought I could do something with it. It needed some modification in the rear end to make it drive straight because I'd seen it previously. It had no motor, gearbox, it was just a roller really. It had an old dash, a standard one. I just custom made it, done all the aluminium on the inside of the doors. Just sort of wanted to make it look clean and tidy. This was not just racing or time, it was more just for fun. And yeah, go have fun and people look at it and say, that's a nice car.
The interior is also clean and functional. Ray knocked up the custom door trims and dash, which is filled with autometer gauges. The tubs, roll cage and stripped interior were painted the same colour as the car, and Ray added carpet to keep it all super neat. A race seat and harness keep Ray safe, while the ice-filled water-to-air intercooler keeps Ray company. The whole car is impressive, but what really freaks people out is what's under the hood. FJ? No. SR? No. The ever-popular rotary? No. How about a fully built Toyota 7M GTE? That's right, you heard correct, an old-school Supra engine. Even freakier is that it used to be in the TRP R32 Skyline that ran into the 9s.
Being halves in the car, we needed to sort out what was going to go on next. So Matt spoke to Dom and had a car motor and gearbox ready to go. So he decided to get that so we could both put the car together.
Yeah, I was listening to Ray bite my ear off saying, no, don't get it. And then we sat down and thought about it, and it's pretty cheap for what we were going to pay for it. So then we've done it and we haven't looked back at the moment.
The 3-litre 6-cylinder has a forged bottom end and ported head, but the valve train is still standard. A custom manifold feeds an old-school bush-bearing Garrett T76, which blows through the custom ice intercooler and into the custom plenum. An innovative external wastegate and TurboSmart eBoost 2 controls the boost. 2 Bosch 044 fuel pumps suck fuel from the custom fuel cell in the engine bay and feed the custom rail and bigger injectors with C16, which along with the Bosch coil packs are controlled by a Microtech LT10. There's also 125 horsepower single fogger shot of gas for good measure. It's all rather simple and cheap, but it's well thought out and it certainly works, with 540 horsepower at the wheels with only a 75 shot of gas.
It's had a lot of passes. I've got to be happy with that. It's been actually boring, the 7M motor, because we don't really work on it much, so it's pretty reliable.
In the last 6 months, I reckon we've had about 30 runs. We've changed the oil once and a coil pack. We've changed one of them. That's all we've done to it, and that's the best thing about this motor. We've run 8.5s consistently, and we've done nothing to the motor.
Making that power usable is a C4 gearbox with a 4,500 RPM stallie and B&M shifter. We were there for Ray and Matt's first time in the car and watched the car go quicker and quicker on every run until it went into the 8s. Pretty good for its first outing. Since then, the car has continued to improve its times. It has also picked up a few wins too, including taking out the Super Mod class at the 2007 Jamboree.
The winner of the Super Mod drag and brought to us by Carlo Muffler's Power Cruise is Raymond Sunder.
Going up there and winning in the class we're in was pretty awesome.
We weren't going up there for anything else but just the race.
Then we ended up partying to 4 hours in the morning and we had to leave there at 6 to come back. So.
My best 60 foot is a 122. I ran a 129 and an 85 at 158 mile an hour. I'm more for reliability. I don't want to keep working on it, I just want to drive it. We're just going to keep it as a fun car, not really go out to race and be competitive, just something we can have some fun with.
When we go away for Jambo, everyone offers to help. We all help out, and that's one good thing about the TRP boys, and that's the main thing. We help them go partying after.
Another great addition, hey?
Of course. Don't forget to head to Ignition X and check out our Motoractive Tech Talk and our project cars. Make sure you check them out and don't forget to log on to expressionsession.com.au.
See you next time, guys.